Hey guys, how are y'all doing today? So finally, here is my question and answer slash fact video. So this first part, guys, is in regard to books, writing, and my YouTube channel. Let's get started with the book questions first. The first question is, how many books do you have? According to Goodreads, I have about 115. I think I have more since that mini book haul, so probably 120 around there. And this is not including my manga, just the novels and young adult fiction I've read. The next question is how many books you've read, and this is not including manga as well. I read about 103 books. What's the first book you've ever read? I can't really remember the first book I've ever read. It was probably some awesome picture book. But I do remember my first like big kid book, my first kind of novel-ish kind of book. And that is James and the Giant Peach by Roald Dahl. I first read it in grade 3. We kind of had a little project and assignment. I really enjoyed it. I love Roald Dahl's work. The next question is, what is your most anticipated book of 2012? And that would have to be The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, which will be coming out early next year in January, I believe. And yes, Melissa, I have pre-ordered the book The Fault in Our Stars, so I am very excited and I can't wait to read it. I don't believe I will be reading and reviewing it when it comes out, but hopefully I could fit it in somewhere soon. Next question is, what is the shortest book you've read and the longest book you've ever read? And I will answer it both in length and the amount of time I read the book. So the shortest book I've read is A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. I read it in about a few hours, like 3 hours. It's a very quick read. And the longest book I've ever read is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix by J.K. Rowling. And it took me about a month to read. That took me a really long time to do, and I hate reading for that long. It just ugh. The next question is, what book do you not like but everyone loves? And I would have to say Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick. I heard that was like the next Twilight, and it kind of was. I didn't really like it that much. It was okay, but I wasn't blown away by it like a lot of people. The next question is, what books did you read in high school / college? And did you like them? Did you not like them? How did you find time to balance reading and schoolwork? Well, in high school, I remember reading The Joy Luck Club, Animal Farm, Of Mice and Men. And in my first year of university, I remember reading Oryx and Crake by Margaret Atwood. You know, I liked them for the most part. They were okay. There's something about the psychology in required reading that kind of sucks the fun out of reading. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. In terms of balancing, you know, reading for fun and schoolwork, I didn't. I didn't read recreationally while I was in high school or university and college. I just didn't have the time to balance it out. Those who are still in high school or in school and read recreationally, you guys are seriously intense, hardcore. I admire you guys. You are amazing. I really got back into reading for the fun of it after college. During the end of college was Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code, because it was everywhere and I had to see what was going on, and I really enjoyed that read. The next question is, what's one book that you wish you never read? What's your top 5 least favorite books? Have you ever read a book that you hated or you couldn't finish? Those are very strong words. Kind of have like 3 or 4 maybe that I really just couldn't get into or didn't like. That includes Breaking Dawn by Stephanie Meyer, Firelight by Sophie Jordan, Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick, and I kind of didn't enjoy The Iron Daughter by Julie Kagawa. For the most part in those books, I just didn't like the plot direction. There were too many facepalm worthy moments. I just could not take it. There have been books that I did not finish. Guardian of the Dead by Karen Healy, I still have to finish. I also started 5 Flavors of Dumb by Anthony John, and it's not because I did not like the story, it's because I wanted to read something else at the moment, at the time, and I just haven't had a chance to get back to it. Next question is, what's the most exciting, entertaining book you've ever read? I would have to give that to Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. I also thought The Knife of Never Letting Go was pretty intense, and The Hunger Games was really good too. So those are very entertaining books. From start to finish, I was fully engaged in those books. Next question is, what's your favorite book that you've read that you want to see made into a movie? The Red Pyramid and The Emerald Atlas. Those are 2 middle grade books that I really enjoyed. What I really enjoyed about those 2 books is that it was written in a way that makes it movie ready. The action sequences is written so clearly, like playing a movie in your mind. And the next question is, what book made you cry? I'm kind of like a robot, you guys know that. I don't really kind of have that ugly cry reading books if it's a sad book or anything, but I did come close in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I choked up with Dumbledore and Harry, and it was just so sad. So sad. The next question is, what book took you by surprise? I would say Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. It was seriously really good, and each chapter was great. Lots of great character development, lots of great characters, lots of great dialogue, really great writing. It was so good. The next question is, what book would you recommend a total stranger? And I would have to say Looking for Alaska by John Green. I thought that is an amazing book. I think it would appeal to a very wide audience. Next question, kind of similar, not really. A book you think everyone should read, and I think Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson. What's very specific about Melinda's character is that isolation. I think everyone goes through that, having that sense of being on the outside. Next question is, have you read a book that changed your life? And no, I have not read a book that has changed my life yet, not yet. Alicia from To Read or Not to Read sent me Tuesdays with Maury by Mitch Albom. I've heard that's a very kind of life-changing story, but I have yet to read that one. Next question is there a genre of books that you won't read? I'm kind of leaning towards adult romance, just a little bit, just because I don't have any inclination to pick up an adult romance. I don't think I would get anything from it that I can't get from a book I think I would really enjoy. I don't know. Next question is, do you skim through books? And I try not to. I believe I kind of skimmed a little bit through The Passage by Justin Cronin and Battle Royale. Yeah, there was just some parts in the books that, you know, were kind of tedious and you know. Next question is, do you write inside your books, like underline favorite quotes or passages? I don't do that, no. Next question is, do you have any strange or compulsive book habits? I mentioned this before. While reading a book, especially toward the end of the chapter, there's sometimes you could feel like a very good twist or cliffhanger is about to happen, and my eyes wander. I kind of look ahead to see what's going on, so sometimes I put my hand or put something or bookmark or something to kind of cover the last paragraph so I don't look ahead, because that would spoil it. It's kind of a weird habit, but apparently a lot of people do it too, so I guess it's not so strange. Next question is, do you ever get bored of reading? And how do you get back into reading if you've fallen out of it? I guess I don't really get bored of reading itself. There are books that are definitely kind of slow and tedious and boring, but I wouldn't say I get bored of the actual reading part. Sometimes I even get angry and frustrated. Get good already! I get really frustrated. It's like, why aren't you getting good? Some advice from me, if you want to get back into reading again, find a book that you will think will be entertaining and really fun to read. You know, will be a very quick read for you. Next question is, do you like classic literature like Moby Dick, Around the World in 80 Days, The Time Machine? To be honest, I haven't read that much classic literature, so I cannot say that I don't dislike it, but I haven't been inclined to really pick up classic literature. I have a lot of recommendations to do a classics month next year, and I'm definitely gonna do that. I am quite intimidated that I won't get some of the writing, but I will definitely try it. Next question is, do you read poetry? I don't read poetry, no. Next question is, do you eat while you read? I don't, no. I try not to eat while I read. My fingers will get all salty and sticky, so no. Next question is, do you reread books? And I don't reread books. I would really like to. I'd love to reread the Harry Potter series. I did reread The Hunger Games and Catching Fire in anticipation of Mockingjay. I really enjoyed the reread. The next question is, how important is a good book cover to you, if at all? Only time a good book cover is important is when I'm browsing through the bookstore and it catches my eye, and that motivates me to check out the book, read the synopsis, and see if I'll like it. If I don't find the synopsis interesting, I won't buy the book. The book cover will never be the sole reason why I will read a book. Next question is, what is your favorite thing to do at the bookstore? I just love browsing through the cookbooks and looking at all the wonderful pictures in the cookbooks, especially the baking books. They're amazing, and so yeah. Next question is, what is your ideal book reading environment? I would have to say night, quiet, dim lights, near the fireplace. It's kind of sounding like the ideal makeout environment, but no, reading a good book, that's a very nice environment, I think. And of course, a nice hot beverage near you. I think that would be nice. Maybe a blanket on top. That's ideal. Oh, and winter, during the winter time, making it cool and warm at the same time. Next question is, what's your biggest pet peeves when it comes to books? When storylines go in circles. Nothing is happening! I hate it when the storyline just keeps repeating itself in different ways. It's just frustrating. Also, when they changed the overall look of the series after they released the first book, like Leviathan, I really enjoyed the cover, and then they kind of changed it. Same with Nightshade. I thought the first edition, that cover with the close-up girl and she's all purple, I thought that was really cool. And then they changed it to something more stick with it. It's already nice. It's already good. Next question is, who's the sexiest guy character you've ever read / had a crush on? I would have to say Etienne St. Clair from Anna and the French Kiss. He's very romanticized. He's very funny. He is totally swoon-worthy for sure. Next question is, can you suggest a fairy tale retelling? The only fairy tale retellings I've read are by Jackson Pierce, Sisters Red and Sweetly. The next question is, in each universe of a favorite book in a different genre would you like to be in? For fantasy, I'd love to be in the world of Harry Potter. I think that would be amazing. That would be so fun. In romance, contemporary, Anna and the French Kiss, I think that would be fun because, you know, Etienne and Paris. Paris and Etienne. Great combination. For dystopia / sci-fi, I would love to be in the world of The Ugly series by Scott Westerfeld. I think his world building in The Ugly series was amazing. Really well done. Very sci-fi-ish, very advanced technology. Next question is, if your life was a book, how would you end it? And I would say, you know, riding into the sunset, you know, preferably on a horse with no name. When you listen to music, do any stories or books pop into your mind? And yeah, all the time. If you check my Tumblr, I've been posting songs that I feel would fit a certain book that I've read. Next question is, could you mention who you think would like the books? If guy readers would like it or girls, or if it's for an older audience? And I suppose I could. I think for the most part, anyone could read the books that I'm reading and reviewing. Sure, some books are targeted toward a certain demographic because of some of the issues that are going on, but literally, honestly, anyone really could read these books. If you're a guy or girl, why not read romance? Why not read a horror book? I don't see the big deal in going out of your comfort zone and reading whatever you want to read. I think if you watch a review and if you research a little bit in checking out the synopsis in Goodreads and seeing what other people think, you know already if you would like the book or not. If there is a certain book that I feel is targeted toward a very specific niche, I'll mention it, but I think for the most part, it's all up to you. It's all about knowing what you like and don't like. Next question is, where did you get your Lord of the Rings set? And I bought those books at my local big book chain store, Chapters, which is a Canadian chain. Next question is, do you think 500 pages is too long for a first book in a series? I guess it all depends what kind of book you are writing. I think for the most part within the YA genre, 300 to 400 pages is the norm for the first book in the series. So I guess, yeah, maybe a bit too long, but it all depends what you're writing or what you need to fit in there. So yeah. Next question is, how do you get used to reading hardcover books? I say, why do you need to get used to reading hardcover books? Find or wait for the paperback version to come out. I don't like reading the mass paperback, the small paperback version of book. I'll find like a large trade back version. Next question is, will you review A Clash of Kings, which is the sequel to Game of Thrones? And yeah, definitely, I love Game of Thrones. Next question is, will you read the sequel to Firelight Vanish? What do you think of it becoming a movie? I was thinking of doing a second chances month where I will read the sequels to books I gave unreadable ratings to, and you know, there are some books that I feel I am interested in reading the sequel, even though the prior book I did not love, but Firelight unfortunately is not one of them. My thoughts on it becoming a movie, I'm sure they're targeting that Twilight crowd, but you know, I will have no interest in checking out that movie. Next question is, have you watched True Blood or read the books? And if so, will you ever do a video on it? I have watched the series, I believe the first 2 seasons, and wow, very intense, kind of mature graphic scenes and things like that. I have not read the Sookie Stackhouse series by Charlie Harris, and I don't believe I will be doing a video on it just because the audience for it is very specific towards more an adult audience. I think my YouTube channel is not quite open to that, you know, crowd. Next question is, will you ever review manga like you do with other books? I'd be more open to review a series of a manga, but as you guys know, there are lots of volumes in one series and it takes forever sometimes for a series to be done. Unfortunately, I don't plan on reviewing manga. Next question is, how much manga have you read? And I've read a lot of shoujo manga, a lot of the romantic, cute, fluffy manga. I love, love, love. Haven't read too much outside of that, like shonen or mystery or things like that. These next set of questions is my thoughts on these certain subjects. What's your opinion on the normal girl plus mythical creature affiliated beautiful and dangerous guy craze going on in YA? And I find it kind of boring. I'm not a big paranormal romance reader. I try not to read too much of it because I feel for the most part it sounds all very similar and very predictable. The normal girl ends up not being so normal, and the dangerous mythical creature guy ends up, you know, trying to redeem himself from the bad things he's done, and they end up together in the end. So now what? What's left is the plot and the things in between the romance, and usually that aspect in the book is not that developed. You know, give me something here. Give me something to work with. There are books out there I think I would enjoy in the paranormal romance genre, or the really fun, kind of entertaining paranormal romances like Ghost in the Goth. Very Bad Day. I really want to check out that book. It sounds like so much fun. You know, I don't think the very intense, mysterious, paranormal romance reads are for me. Next question is, what's your opinion on series? You get sick of series? What do you think of standalone books? You know, I don't mind series. It's hard to find a complete series where all of the books are great. Usually there's one or two that are kind of, and a lot of those series are in the fantasy slash paranormal slash dystopia genre, and that I do not mind. There's so much to explore in that genre with the whole world building and with the fantastical creatures. There's just so much to explore and so much you can play with. A lot of standalone books are the contemporary books. I think you'll find a lot more really good standalones than whole series. Next question is, what do you think of spin-off series? I really enjoy spin-off series. I am really liking spin-off series slash companion books. I wholeheartedly agree with series ending, especially when a series leaves on a high point. The ending is so satisfying, you think it's great. That was a great run. I especially enjoy open-ended series. You know, in your mind you could see these characters going off into the sunset, doing other things and having more adventures. I love that. And so with companion series, I love the idea of re-entering a world you enjoyed from a previous series and finding about new characters, going on a new adventure with them, getting to see crossover characters from the previous series. That's awesome. I think that's great. It's like meeting like old friends kind of deal. The next section is called This or That. The first question is, what series do you find more complete? Harry Potter, Twilight, or The Hunger Games? I find Harry Potter the most complete for me, the most satisfying. I am most satisfied with that series. Next question is, bookmark or dog ear? I don't dog ear ever. You know, if I can't find a bookmark, I will use like a hairpin or a receipt. Neat ending or cliffhanger. And I don't mind either. I really enjoy both. The Knife of Never Letting Go has a great cliffhanger at the end, and I loved it, and I was craving for the next book. And in the Harry Potter series, at the end of each book, there was a nice conclusive ending, and I thought that was really good too. Next question is, solo books or series? Again, either or, as long as they're done really well. Next question is, fantasy or horror? Either or. I think I'm leaning towards fantasy a little bit because I just love the adventure part. So the next question is called favorites. What's your favorite childhood book? I would have to say Purple, Green, and Yellow by Robert Munsch. I love that book. It's about a girl who draws and gets cool markers, and there's a great twist surprise at the end, so I thought that was really good. Next question is, what's your favorite book to movie adaptation? Fight Club, directed by David Fincher, was really great. I also really enjoyed the Harry Potter movies. I love the movies. It was really good. Next question is, who are some of your favorite characters that you could probably be best friends with? And if you could be any one character, who would that be? I think Kat and Hale from Heist Society, their whole heist team, that would be so much fun. I think I'd be like a forger, and of course the Golden Trio from Harry Potter, Ron, Harry, and Hermione. If I were to be any character, I think I would probably like to be Luna Lovegood or Hermione from Harry Potter. I think those two characters would be a lot of fun. Next question is, favorite apocalyptic slash dystopia series or book? I would have to say Uglies. I haven't finished the Chaos Walking series yet. I adore it. Uglies is the one series, dystopia series, I highly enjoyed, consistently loved. Next question is your favorite YA contemporary read. I would have to say Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. Also Looking for Alaska by John Green. Next question is favorite manga / least favorite manga. My favorite manga I would say would be Our Run High School Host Club, and Death Note is really good too. I really enjoy that series a lot. I haven't really come across any least favorite manga. Next question is favorite book cover on your shelf, and I would have to say Zombies vs. Unicorns. I love illustrated covers, as you guys know. Next question is your favorite book review that I've seen on YouTube. I would say my favorite book review that I've seen is by Melissa and Eric. Melissa and Eric did a book review on Will Grayson, and I just adored their collab video. They have fun with it and they're just awesome to watch. Next question is your favorite adult book. Game of Thrones, does that count? That's kind of a fantasy / adult book. Next question is favorite book blog. I think I Eat Words is a really great book blog. So is The Story Siren. Percy has a great blog, consistent and great content. I also love Stacy from the Pretty Books blog and her Tumblr. I think her Tumblr is amazing. Stacy, how's it going? Shout out. Next question is what is your guilty pleasure book? Monsterologist by Rick Yancey. I love that horror series book. I know not a lot of people love horror and would really get into it, but I just love it. I really like the characters and the amazingly gory aspect of the whole series. So next question is what is your favorite middle grade book? And I would say The Emerald Atlas. Other than Harry Potter, you mean? The next section, that was all about books, if you can believe it or not. Next, we're going into the writing section. If you're still here with me and still watching, kudos to you, because God. Next question is, would you write your own book? And if so, what genre? For writing, I don't think so. But if I were to write a book, I'd love to write children's stories, like picture books. That would be really cool. Next question is, if you could write a companion or prequel to a series, what would it be and why? I wouldn't write one, personally, because it would be horrible. But if the author was inclined to do so, I would love to see a prequel to Heist Society by Ali Carter. Just seeing how the characters like got together and how they all met and, you know, their first job together, that would be really cool, I think, with Kat and Hale and the Bagshaw brothers. And the last question in the writing section is, have you ever done NaNoWriMo? No, I haven't. I don't think I would be very good at it, so no. The next section is in regards to my YouTube channel. The first question is, why did you decide to make a book review channel? There's a few different reasons why I created my book review channel. One of the reasons is being Mr. Chris Stuckman, movie reviewer extraordinaire. Hi Chris, how's it going? Chris is awesome. I first watched his movie review on The Last Airbender. I thought it was so funny and entertaining and very informative too. He did a really great movie review on that, and I looked at more of his videos and he was a really great reviewer, and I thought I would really like to review too. I think this would be a lot of fun because he was having so much fun with it. And I wasn't inclined to do movie reviews because, you know, although I really enjoy watching movies, I was not a movie buff. I'm not a movie buff now. Chris Stuckman was definitely an inspiration for me getting into reviewing in the first place. What made me inclined to do book reviews was the book community. And I was thinking, has anyone kind of reviewed books? Because at the time I was reading The Mortal Instruments and The Hunger Games, and I finished reading Twilight and Ugly series, so checked it out. There were reviewers out there. Megan the Book Addict, Caitlin from Xmas Book Obsessed, Laura, there was the YA Fiction Freaks, and it was great. What kept me motivated to do all these videos for all this time is everyone in the book community. Next question is, will you create a new channel doing vlogs or anything else? And I did consider creating just a movie review channel. I'd like to incorporate more movie reviews in the coming year. We'll see how that goes. But no, I don't intend on creating a separate channel for doing vlogs because I don't find myself that interesting to watch. Next question is, do you have any advice for other booktubers or those starting up their own channel? You know, I say keep making videos whenever you can. I have found though that there is a link between uploading consistently and getting more subscribers. And most importantly is all about your content, what you're talking about. You love watching about people that they're into things, that they're nerdy and geeky about the things they're into. Next question is, what is your video setup? And really, I don't really have much. It's just my camera on a tripod. Right now, I'm using natural lighting, as you can see. I also use kind of a white foam board, which is this right here. as my fill light. Will you do a featured video with other booktubers? And yeah, for sure. I'll have to find another way I want to feature because there's so many out there. It's hard for me to find the time to check out everyone's channel and check out everyone's video, so I have to find a way to do that. Next question is, what's the best experience you've had being a reviewer on YouTube? And that's just being part of a community that loves what you love. Next question is, do you believe the booktube community helps you read more books? And for sure, it definitely made me aware of all the books that have been out and what people are reading. I'm just blown away and like overwhelmed with how many books there are and how many books I want to read. Next question is, will you do another book to movie adaptation month like you did in June? And I will definitely do. You know, I really enjoyed that month and there were so many book to movie adaptations I could have choose from. It was really difficult, but I'd love to do another month like that for sure. Oh my gosh, guys, this is going to be a crazy long video. I am so sorry, but you know, now you know my thoughts on books, writing, and YouTube. You guys are awesome if you've watched this far. Part 2 coming up. Non-book related questions / personal questions. So be on the lookout for that. I will see you guys later. Bye.